Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayam Namaskrityam Narayam Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayante Vigrahate Naste Priyeshu Abdeshu Nityam Bhagavata Seveya Bhagavate Uttamam Shloke Bhaktir Bhagavati Nastiki. We are reading from Chapter 4, Chapter 25, Text 51. On the northern side was the gate named Devahu. Through that gate, King Puranjana used to go with his friends Shrutradhara to the place known as Uttara Panchala. Text 25. On the western side was a gate named Asuri. Through that gate, King Puranjana used to go to the city of Gramaka accompanied by his friend Durmada. Text 53. Another gate on the western side was known as Nirti. Puranjana used to go through this gate to the place known as Vaishasha, accompanied by his friend Lubdhaka. Text 54. Of the many inhabitants of this city, there are two persons named Nirvak and Peshashkrat. Although King Puranjana was the ruler of citizens who possessed eyes, he unfortunately used to associate with these blind men. Accompanied by them, he used to go here and there and perform various activities. Text 25. Sometimes he used to go to his private home with one of his chief servants, the mind, who was named Vishuchina. At that time, illusion, satisfaction, and happiness used to be produced from his wife and children. Text 56. Being thus entangled in different types of mental concoction and engaged in fruitive activities, King Purunjana came completely under the control of material intelligence and was thus cheated. Indeed, he used to fulfill all the desire of his wife, the queen. Text 51 to 61. When the queen drank liquor, King Punjana also engaged in drinking. While the queen dined, he used to dine with her. And when she chewed, King Punjana used to chew along with her. When the queen sang, he also sang. Similarly, when the queen cried, he also cried. And when the queen laughed, he also laughed. When the queen talked loosely, he also talked loosely. And when the queen walked, the king walked behind her. When the queen would stand still, the king would also stand still. And when the queen would lie down in bed, he would also follow and lie down with her. When the queen sat, he would also sit. And when the queen heard something, he would follow her to hear the same thing. When the queen saw something, the king would also look at it. And when the queen smelled something, the king would follow her to smell the same thing. When the queen touched something, the king would also touch it. And when the dear queen was lamenting, the poor king also had to follow her in lamentation. In the same way, when the queen felt enjoyment, he also enjoyed. And when the queen was satisfied, the king also felt satisfaction. Text 62. In this way, King Puranjana was captivated by his nice wife and was thus cheated. Indeed, he became cheated in his whole existence in the material world. Even against that poor foolish king's desire, he remained under the control of his wife, just like a pet animal that dances according to the order of its master. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mati. Yes, Sri Krishna, Prabhu, whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji, for reading the translation. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Sikshashtamekam Purusha Puranam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradari Kripambudirtamaham Prapadye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are seeing this section of the story of King Puranjana as described by Narada Muni to King Prachina Barhi. So the Prachatas, they were basically doing austerities under the ocean. Now Narada Muni is visiting King Prachinabarhi, and he's basically seeing a lot of karma kanda activities. So the karma kanda activities are mentioned in the Vedas to elevate oneself to higher planetary systems. So, so if you look at this Bhu Mandala, like in this one universe, there are 14 planetary systems, 7 planetary systems above and 7 below. So the Bhu Mandala, the Bhuloka, Earth planet is considered the middle planet. So Bhu, Bhuar, Swar, Mahar, Tapas, Janas, and Satyaloka. Satyaloka is the highest planetary system within this universe. So those who perform certain austerities, certain sacrifices, according to the Vedic injunctions, they get elevated to higher planets. So Prachina Barhi is very much attached to those flowery language of Vedas, and he is performing these sacrifices. So now Narada Muni is taking this opportunity for preaching, and he is giving him the transcendental path, the path of Nivritti Marg, so path of the Bhagavad Dharma. So now, so already Narada Muni described how the living entity is searching this whole universe for the right place to stay, how he gets the human form of life, and then how he is attracted to different sense enjoyments. So now today we are seeing from verse number 51 onwards. So it's a very interesting allegory story that Narada Muni is saying. So in this allegory story, it is picture perfect. Like, so whatever comparisons Narada Muni does, whatever naming conventions he gives, and whatever directions, and everything is like picture perfect. So how he does it, it's purely transcendental. So from an intellectual perspective also it's very interesting, and from a scriptural Vedic perspective also it's very interesting. So in the previous verses he was indicating northern side, southern side, eastern side, western side, like that, different gates of the cities. The city had the King Puranjana was in the city. It had 9 gates. So now in the verse number 50, he described about southern gate of the city. So the southern gate is referred here to the right side of the ear, and it is mentioned here that right side of the ear, it is interested to elevate oneself to the higher planetary systems like Pitraloka. And then starting from verse number 51, 51, it is said northern side of the gate, Devahu. So this gate, it is used by King Puranjana along with friend Shrutadhara to go to place known as Uttara Panchala. So the southern side, here, this northern side gate is referred to the left part of the ear, it seems. So the left ear is generally interested to hear those things which can promote us even higher than the Pitruloka, like even Maharloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, even Satyaloka, or even beyond the Satyaloka, the spiritual planets. So that's why whenever somebody takes a Gayatri mantra, and in those days they used to recite, the Guru used to recite the mantra upadesh on the left side of the ear. So here Prabhupada is elaborating that if one is interested in being happy on this planet as well as after death, generally wants to be elevated to the Pitrulokas, such a person can use the right ear for hearing Vedic instructions. However, if one is interested to going to Tapaloka, Brahmaloka, or even Vaikuntha planets or Krishna Loka, may take initiation from the spiritual master. So those days, even Prabhupada, when he took initiation from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he got Brahman initiation and Nama, holy name initiation at the same time. So he got the Gayatri Mantra Upadesh also. So on the 52nd verse, it is said, the western gate, western side. Western side is the Paschatya Desha. Like, so we are in the western side of the Earth planet. So western side, it is called Asuri. Asuri and King Puranjana used to go to a city called Gramaka using this Asuri, and he had a friend named Durmada. So these words have very significance. So Asuri, we all know Asuric tendency, like demoniac tendency. So here, the genitals is compared to uh, Asuri or demoniac tendency. So Gramaka is the attraction towards the sex life is especially meant for Asuras, it seems. And the word Asura here, Gramaka, the word Gramaka, like we all know, like Gramya Katha, like village talk, or just a casual talk, it is just for not something important, like a casually, like some entertainment talk, cinema talk, like that's called Gramya Katha. So here Gramaka means like it is not important, it is kind of wasting their energy and wasting their life energy. And the friend Durmada mentioned here, like Durmada means, Dur means sinful, and Mada is like madness. So through this engagement, through this western side of engagement, the living entity actually gets the association of sinfulness and madness, Durmada. So there is a verse in Prema Vivarta. It says, the Pishashi Paile Yena Mati Chanahaya Maya Grahsta Jiverahaya Se Bhava Udaya. So if a person is haunted, by like a ghost, he speaks all kind of, blabbers, lot of nonsensical things. So similarly here, uh, to engage in the sense gratification, one has to take the association of a friend called Durmada, basically sinful tendency and madness. So it's a material, Prabhupada is calling this as a material disease. So infected by material disease. So so here, Prabhupada's pranam mantra, if you say Paschatya Desa Tarine, so Prabhupada has come to the Western countries to deliver them from voidism and impersonalism and to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya. So, because Lord Chaitanya wanted, actually, Chaitanya wanted this message to be propagated, Krishna conscious to be propagated to the western part of the world, to the people who are addicted to sense gratification. So this is a special mercy of the Kali Yuga that Prabhupada is doing. So on the verse number 53, so again on the western side, there is another gate known as Nivriti. So through this gate, he was going to a place called Vaishasha, and he had another friend, Lubdaka. So Lubdaka, so this gate is referred to the rectum. So where we pass stool. Um, so um, so here this is on the western side of the eyes, nose, and ears. Um, so when the jiva, when the soul, after the person, the body, is no more useful, the soul has to leave the body. For those who are sinful, the soul leaves the body through rectum, it seems, and it is very painful. And similarly, if one takes very food which is not sattvic, like tamasic and rajasic food, and like gluten, fluid, and all those, the evacuation is also very painful. So like these two are like a comparison for a greed, loba, lubdaka. So the word lubdaka is also means greed, loba. So due to our greed, we eat a lot of unnecessary foodstuffs, and then there is so much pain during evacuation. Similarly, when the life is filled with greed and sinful activities, the person, the jiva, when he's leaving, he also takes a lot of pain um, during this leaving the body. So this is called nivriti, or painful gate. So Nivriti Marga is basically the it's not a gradual progression. It is just like in the Bhagavatam also Pravriti Marga and Nivriti Marga. The term Nivriti is some austerities and pain is involved. So here also this western side gate is called Nivriti because of the pain, involvement of pain. So on the verse number 54, there is two people named here, Nirvak and Peshashkrit. So, so King Puranjana used to rule the citizens. Uh, he unfortunately he used to associate with the blind people, and with this blind people, he used to go here and there to perform lot of activities. So these two persons named Nirvak and Peshashkrit, so they refer to the arms and legs. So the arms and legs, they don't have any visible, like separate eyes. The whole body there is two eyes that we have, but the arms and body, they just walk, they perform activities, with the energy that with the hands and legs. But because of addiction to the senses, like he has to sometimes follow something blindly, to touch something or to go somewhere. He will blindly follow without proper intelligence, spiritual intelligence, or proper mind thought. So that's why it is called like blind. It's called blind legs and hands. So, meaning the just by intuition, when we do something without proper intelligence, it's following like blind following the blind. So, in the verse number 55, here it is about the mind mentioned. Moham prasadam harsham va. So, for happiness, illusion, and satisfaction, uh, through his wife and children, he used to go to his private home with one of his chief servants. The chief servants is the mind. So Vishuchina Samanvitaha. So by the mind, accompanied by the mind, who was named here as Vishuchina. So so here there's elaborate purport that Prabhupada gives about when it comes to the mind. Um, so the Vedic conclusion is that the heart, the place where the heart is, that's where the self is situated, the Atma is situated. So in the Vedic language also it says Hrudi ayam Atma pratishtitaha. So the self is situated within the heart. So Krishna also says Hrudi Shanni Visto, like he says, I am in the heart, O Arjuna. So but in the material situation, the spirit soul is covered by the three trigunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. So, so in the heart, these three qualities are reacting. So, so that's why here, when one is in the sattva guna, he feel happy. In the rajoguna, he feels, he wants to do more and more work. In the tamoguna, he feels bewildered. So all these activities are connected to the mind. And then the mind function is to feeling, thinking, and willing. So, so here, um, there is a specific happiness, illusion, satisfaction produced by wife and children is mentioned here. So when the living entity on the material plane, mental plane, so he is sometimes satisfied, sometimes bewildered, sometimes illusioned by friends. So all this is happening because of the three modes of nature when the mind is interacting with the three modes of nature. So, but due to the material mind, he is not aware of the situation that after death, he will be thrown into very precarious situation that he has to take another body based on the activities that he performed. So, but everyone who is on the material plane, who is not on the Krishna consciousness platform, pretty much all of them are under the illusion. So that's why there is sometimes the feeling of happiness, sometimes misery. It's the illusion is like it keeps changing. It's under the external energy. So, but this situation can be changed by taking the shelter of the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. So, similar to the verse of Mameva ye prapadyante mayamitam tarantite. So, this Maya illusion can be completely rectified or overcome by surrendering onto the lotus feet of Krishna. So in this verse, Prabhupada is concluding that so the illusion that here Puranjana is going through can be overcome, especially the mind. So on the verse number 56, again the mental activities and the fruitive activities are mentioned. So evam karmashu samshaktaha. So karma atma vanchitaha. So here, due to the mental concoction, fruitive activities, he comes completely under the control of material intelligence. So vanchitaha abuddhaha. So less intelligent, and he comes under the desires of his wife. Mahishi yad yad ihete. So the wife here is compared to the material intelligence. So he is fully under the control of the material intelligence, and whatever the material intelligence dictates, he will be completely aligned. Completely according to that, he is doing all kinds of fruitive activities. So basically, the living entity is fully in the bewildered situation, and that's why. So whenever somebody comes in control of something on the transcendental platform, we go under the control of fully under the control of Krishna. That is the release of our illusion. But in the material situation, no matter anybody's control, we go the material intelligence or somebody else, our master, who's dictating our work. In the material plane, it doesn't matter whose control you become. It's all under gives the bewilderment, and it gives increase to the miseries. So only when we take the shelter of the transcendental platform, where we come under the control of Guru, Krishna, Shastra, then the release of this illusion starts working. So here, this material intelligence is compared to wife. So exactly to her dictation, like so in the Shastra also, like it says that one has to satisfy the wife with, giving good ornaments, good family house, and situation. Like basically, when one becomes like a servant to of his wife, he should act according to her desires to satisfy in every aspect. So in Prabhupada is giving one example. In Bengal, it is said that if one becomes an obedient servant of his wife, he loses all reputation. So there is a verse that in Bengal. So similarly here, he comes under the complete complete shelter of the material intelligence, and consequently he loses all uh, aspects of the engaging the mind and intelligence on the spiritual side. So on the verse 57 to 61, so it's basically is describing uh, how King Puranjana was completely under the control of the queen. So queen in the sense material intelligence. So nowadays in the Kali Yuga, Prabhupada is saying there is a lot of introduction of the laws of divorce law, and when there is not so much satisfaction between wife and husband, they separate. All these complexities are created. So basically he's pointing out that there is a sense of servitude between each of them. Both have to satisfy each other, and the extreme situation is the material completely falling under the control of material intelligence. So this is the extreme situation where one becomes completely entangled in so many activities and mental concoctions. So, so in the last 5 verses, 57 to 61, so King Puranjana is basically doing everything in alignment with the material intelligence. So when the queen is eating, he's eating. When she's drinking, he's drinking. So it's a perfect alignment in the material intelligence. That means in the mind and the intelligence is in the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Indriyani parani ahur manasastu parabuddhi yo buddhi parastu sa. So indriyas, and then the manas, mind, and then the intelligence, and the atma, the soul. Like the hierarchy is mentioned, but here the hierarchy is completely on the other side. So the senses, whatever the senses are attracted to, the mind will give order, do this, and then the material intelligence uh, will give such a plan to fulfill that senses dictate the dictations of the senses. So the hierarchy is totally changed. So the needs of the soul is completely forgotten. The spiritual needs are completely forgotten. So that is the situation mentioned here on the verse, last 5 verses. So and then it said in the same way, when the queen felt enjoyment, he also felt enjoyment. And the queen was satisfied, the king was feeling satisfaction. So it's like completely following material intelligence. So in the material world also, people they feel happiness sometimes, they feel morose, they feel dejected. Sometimes they are very much in anxiety. So all these things happening under the three modes of nature. So, but what is the alternative? So, Prabhupada is saying the mind is the place where the self is situated, and the mind is conducted by the intelligence. So, the living entity is situated within the heart. Like you can mention the physical heart as well as the heart of the living entity and the soul, and it follows the intelligence. So, what is the solution? The solution is to follow the example of King Ambarish. So, the Ambarish Maharaj, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vendayo, Vachamshi Vaikunta Gunana Varnane. So, he is always describing, using his senses, is using his tongue to describe the glories of Vaikunta Varnane. So, like the glories of Lord, Lord of Vaikunta, Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. And he's always glorifying the lotus feet of mind. His mind is always engaged on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So, in that way, his intelligence becomes purified. And Maharaj Ambarish also used all his other senses, like eyes, the sense of smell, the sense of touch, in worshipping the Lord, deity worship, and also going his hands and legs. His hands was used in cleaning the temple and cleaning the deity, massaging the deities, and his legs were used to walk towards the temple. So like that, he engaged all his senses, and that way he purified his senses. He made his mind to be towards attached towards the Lord Krishna and his pastimes, name, form, and qualities, and gradually his intelligence becomes spiritualized. So, on the contrary, material persons who are under full control of material intelligence cannot perform all these activities, and thus, consciously or unconsciously, they become entangled by the dictations of material intelligence. So, this fact is summarized in this following verse. so, so here, in the last verse, verse number 62. King Puranjana was completely captivated by his nice wife and thus got cheated. So here, material intelligence captured him completely. Indeed, he became cheated his whole existence in the material world. Even against the poor, foolish king's desire, he remained under the control of his wife, just like a pet animal that dances according to the order of his master. So, so, like Prabhupada was saying, this is very extreme situation. Means on this situation, he has no independence. Meaning, even unwillingly, also he is doing the same thing. He's following his material intelligence. So to come out of this situation, like in the previous verse, we have to start engaging our senses, and then we will have a little bit of independence to engage our mind and then our intelligence. So gradually, we will have that freedom to engage our senses in the Krishna consciousness process. So here in this verse, it said Vipra Labdaha. So Vipra Labdaha, V means specifically, and Pralabdha means obtain. So just to satisfy the Puranjana desires, the king got the queen, and thus he became cheated by material existence. So, so here, Prabhupada is giving an alternative solution. Like if somebody is in this situation, how they can come out. They can come out in Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a verse in the 5th canto. It says, Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimoktes Tamo Dwaram Yoshitam Sanga Sangam Sangi Sangam Mahaste Sama Chitta Prasantaha Vimanyavaha Suhurda Sadavo Ye. So the great Mahatmas or sadhus, saintly people, they actually can give you this. They make this path of this self-realization or easy for one who can serve the Mahatmas or serve the great devotees. For them, the liberation paths will become clear. But on the other side, if one becomes associated and attached to a woman or a person who's too attached to, addicted to woman or his senses, then the path of bondage is, uh, path of material bondage is, is very clear. So the two paths, one path is for vimukta, liberation, the other path is for bondage. So one has to choose. And for spiritual engagement, one has to give up this association of materialistic people. And that's what Prabhupada is saying. So, and in addition, Prabhupada is also saying how Narada Muni is basically explaining all this wonderfully to one, so that one is not attracted to the material quality of darkness and the lower stages of life. Whereas one who is attracted to the material quality of goodness is in a better position. So, ultimately, the goal is Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yad Ahaitukam. So, one who is performing the devotional service of Lord Vasudev, for him, the Vairagyam and Jnanam will automatically, so the knowledge, the spiritual intelligence, and the renunciation will automatically follow. So the devotional service is the real solution for acquiring all this. So, so finally, Prabhupada is concluding, as long as we are attached to society, family, and love of the material world, there is no question of knowledge, nor is there a question of devotional service. By directly taking to devotional service, however, one becomes filled with knowledge and renunciation. In this way, one's life becomes successful. So Hare Krishna. That concludes the today's verse number 62. Yeah, thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sri Krishna Prabhuji. Wonderful class, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.